You feel me?
Everything been all right, man.
That's
Everything
the
been
play.
all right.
That's the play. I know you had some soup, boy. I said soup
Yeah,
zoom, boy.
yeah, yeah. Had the soup. Had the soup. It's the
All right.
MarcWes Sports Podcast. I'm Marcus chilling with my guy Wesley Pierre. We giving you real sports talk from the crib. You already know what it is. It's been a long layoff for me because last couple of months been real busy with the football season, basketball season, and recruiting all happening at the same time. It's been crazy. I don't know if y'all can still hear me and whatnot, but on my end that thing is frozen a little
Yeah,
bit, but
mine's too.
maybe.
Yeah,
But
it's all
anyways,
good.
man, it's just been a crazy like couple of months, but things have finally kind of slowed down now. We do have another signing day coming up in February, but like the main one already happened in December. So and Miami doesn't really expect to sign any more guys. We just waiting for one more guy to sign, Cormani McClain. We'll get into that. But first and foremost, man, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins #1. You gotta put that in there too now.
Oh yeah,
Um,
hell yeah. Miami Dolphins are in the playoffs, man, for the first time since 2016. One of the ugliest games I've ever seen in my life, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like no touchdowns. I felt like I was watching a Hurricanes game.
I was just about to say that.
It was that ugly, man. I was like, what the hell? But a win's a win. Jason Sanders finally kicks a field goal that meant something. He kind of owed us one, and he said that too. I'm glad to be in the playoffs. First off, it's better to be in the playoffs than out of the playoffs, especially when
Mhm.
you're close to it. But at the same time, I mean, what are your expectations, bro, for this game against the hated Buffalo Bills? First off, if Tua plays, give me your expectations, and if he doesn't play,
Oh,
what you think?
okay. Because me, I'm like, that was just what I was gonna say. It's gonna be night and day. I mean, as far as if Tua's gonna go ahead and be in the game, then you know that my confidence is real high, sky high with the arm of the almighty Tua. But if we get Teddy Bear, with the broken hand, unbroken finger, and if we get Skylar Thompson that need a lot more reps, we're gonna have a problem. As far as if we go ahead, let's go ahead and start with the bad. If we have Teddy and we have Skylar Thompson, then there's no shot we're gonna go ahead and win. It's the L all day. Like you said, man, like it was one of the worst games that I've seen, but I steady watching it. On why? Because I knew that we had a chance to make the playoffs. I knew we was playing the garbage ass Jets, and we knew who they were, and that's exactly who they were, the garbage ass Jets.
Yeah.
As far as
Albeit they was playing with their third string too, Joe Flacco.
and that's delivered the ball to his number one and number two receivers. That's Waddle and the Penguin, and that's Cheetah and Tyreek Hill. I think that as far as with our running game been showing what's really good as far as Mostra. The last game when he was playing New England, I seen him broke maybe 4 or 5 tackles, gained like a 30-yard run, and for some reason it's Groundhog Day with the Dolphins, and I think we had a penalty. Or matter of fact, not even we didn't have a penalty. What happened was it was a snap, a mishandled snap, and we had like a 20-yard negative play. The crazy thing is, well, I'm going back to that game before I continue with the playoffs is, I was looking at what Skylar Thompson was saying, and Skylar Thompson was saying like, "Yo, I can't hear." They showing the equipment as far as with how they communicating, and it was an issue. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, damn, this is what happened with the Dolphins, man. The football gods are saying like, y'all not supposed to be in this damn playoffs, man, because you're supposed to communicate. We know he's a rookie. You know that he needs everything to work in his favor. And here we go again. The Dolphins, their communications is not working. It's kind of like the evil empire when you go to New England and you know that For some reason, your equipment is not working. Now we're in Miami, so I don't know why it wasn't working in our home stadium, but it really was making me feel some type of way to see every time we do something positive is always something negative. It's kind of like our whole season. We win 3 games, we lose 3 games, we win 5 games, we lose 5 games. Hopefully we could wind up winning 4 or 5 games and turn this into a Super Bowl run, but I'm not going to go ahead of myself. I'm going to go ahead and just say, let's do what we were doing when we were in Buffalo. We gave them a good game when we played them last in the season. Even though we lost that game, we played in the snow. We answered some certain questions. People were saying that Tua can't play in the snow, and he was showing that he could deliver the actual ball in the snow. The defense was playing decent, even though I still got a problem with the defense. And you know, I'm gonna kind of give you some slack when we talk about availability. It's the best ability, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you go ahead and tell me what you think about what's gonna happen in the game versus the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, man. I gotta tell you, Wes, I'm back out on tour. It's been a while, so I had some time to really kind of think about this. You know, I'm back out on tour, bro. Like, and it's not because of his ability. You know, clearly he's got the ability. He just doesn't have the availability, Wes. And unfortunately, you got to be available to play this violent game we call football. And I think even if Tua plays, I hate to say this because I just, you know, I love the Dolphins, man. I love the Dolphins, just like Trick said. You know what I'm saying? I love the Dolphins. But I don't think that they win, bro. I just don't think they win. And here's why. Not only that Tua hasn't been playing, even if he comes back, I don't think he's going to be like 100%. You 2 weeks out from playing, it's going to take you a while to kind of get going. Buffalo, at the same time, they playing with this other like aura now. You know, they're playing with, oh, I got to play for my guy who almost died on the field. You know, and we didn't have a chance to talk about that. I was actually up in Orlando watching it at my cousin's house. And crazy thing about it, man, this was the last. I got to update y'all on everything. This is the last fantasy football game. So the fantasy football season ends the last game of the second to last week of the season. So it's literally the last game of fantasy football, that Cincinnati Bills game. I had Tyler Boyd, the receiver for the Bengals. All I needed was 8 points, and I won the championship, bro. And I won the championship, bro. Oh, yeah. All I needed was 8 points, and I won the championship, right? First game, first touchdown, who does it go to? My player, Tyler Boyd. He scores the 8 points on that first touchdown. I'm like, bam, it's over. Game over. I won the championship. Give me my money. You know? and then this crazy shit happens, right? This crazy shit happens, dude. I mean, I felt for the situation. I mean, I was just like, yo, you know me watching football as much as I watch football. I watch kids play football. I watch high schoolers play football. And for me to see a player damn near die on the field, it made me rethink this whole thing. Like, damn, anybody could die on any given play, and it was just a regular play. It was just a regular tackle, and this dude almost died. He basically did die for 9 minutes. They had to revive him. You know what I'm saying? So it was a crazy situation. So I don't want to talk like bad on the situation. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But the situation ended up canceling the game. And my 8 points that I got in the first few minutes of the game ended up getting canceled too. Ooh. Ain't that some shit? Like they canceled the game, no points, and boom, the 8 points that I needed erased, and I lose second place. But what? Yes, bro, it was crazy. It was crazy. It's crazy as hell. I mean, it was just a weird situation. If the game played out, obviously I would have won. I already basically did win because all I needed was 8 points. And then, but I talked to a buddy who luckily the guy I'm playing against is the commissioner of the league, so he can make decisions. So we came to agreement, and he ended up giving me
half,
almost a split, but he gave me like a little bit more than half, which I was like, all right, that's cool. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that ended up going down. But
may
anyway,
I ask what was the amount?
So it would have been $800.
Okay.
But it ended up being, he gave me $450, which
All
is
right.
fine.
All right.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get some J's with that shit too. So I can remember, this is what the fantasy football league that year did. But anyways, man. But yeah, back to Buffalo, bro. Like this whole situation, I feel like you seen what happened in this last game, bro. Like the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Like, come on, bro. Like, I mean, yeah, it's the Patriots, whatever. Patriots beat us. But at the same time, I just feel like they're playing with more than just, what they got as a team. I feel like they are playing even harder now because of this situation. And they're playing at home, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Miami they may keep it close if Tua plays, but I think the Bills end up winning in the end.
Yeah, but come on now. You saying like they playing hard for him. You don't remember Tua hands being crumped up like he was throwing gang signs? You don't think they fighting for Tua? They won that game for Tua because Tua was saying like, all I want to do is if we win this game, come back in the playoffs. You feel me? And everybody been saying that, the team that you do not want to play is the Miami Dolphins. Even though we've been looking crazy, it doesn't matter because when Tua be in the game, he do his thing. Obviously, that game when he threw those 3 picks, he had a concussion. So that's not the typical Tua. That's not what me and you and every other Dolphin fan is used to. We're used to him giving it to his receivers. We're used to, everybody celebrating and this, that, and the other. Now, again, our defense may look suspect, but we still wind up winning the game. I remember when we beat the Baltimore Ravens down 3-4 touchdowns and came back. I remember all these games when Tua basically was showing you like, this is why you need to be on the bandwagon. This is why you need to be on the ship. Right now, I'm kind of disappointing you right now, Marcus, because last time you jumped off the ship, you feel me? Because I'm like, this is the time you're supposed to be. Look, when you're in a relationship, and this is exactly what it is, we're in a relationship with the damn Miami Dolphins, right? So when you got to be there with the good and the bad. You're married.
I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I'm always a Doll fan, but I'm just out on Tua, bro. I'm just out on him, and I think we need to move on from your boy.
Well, me personally, I don't think that Tua is done because personally, like, look, it's a head injury. Like when we were talking about Tua early in the season, as far as if he's going to be available for a certain amount of games, we were talking about a head injury. And if you take the head injury out, like for the most part, he's been available. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really knock him for trying to come in the game and win something for us, man. You feel what I'm saying? And when he's in the game, he's been doing this thing. I mean, look, the crazy thing is when Tua's in the game, he hasn't been in the game for like 4 or 5. Well, matter of fact, he hasn't been in like maybe like 4, maybe 5 games, right? But you still got Waddle and Cheetah, like the top 6 receivers as far as with yards, as far as with certain things. Like, so, damn, boy, imagine Tua was there all the games that he was supposed to play. You know what I'm saying? So it's showing that he got it. But again, at the end of the day, I understand, you're back to the availability is the best ability. I kind of was telling you before, man, when you pay these motherfuckers this money, they're not available. You know what I'm saying?
But he ain't get paid. That's the even worse part about it.
That's the reason why he keeps trying to come back.
I'm not out on his talent. I want to tell you that. I'm not out on his talent. I'm a fan of Tua. If he comes back and he plays, great. But like, I don't believe he will. You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe he will continue to be healthy.
See, but you can't
for
think
like the majority of his career because he was hurt in college, significant hip injury, right? He was hurt his first year. He had a thumb injury and he has something else, an ankle injury, I think it was. This year he had an ankle injury and a concussion.
But he played through the ankle. He played through the thumb. I mean, like, look, I don't want to hear about ankle or thumb. With the hip injury, I feel you. But obviously that he made a full recovery on that. I mean, you've been seeing people slam him, fall on him, and the hip hasn't shattered or anything like that. I mean, when it comes to fingers and ankles, everybody get those type of injuries. And the question is, do you play through it? And I mean, I seen him playing through all those injuries other than the concussion. And they, it's not because he don't want to play. It's because, the NFL, like, yo, we ain't about to pay y'all this bread. We already, they made a movie on us with concussions. We have all type of lawsuits still pending, possibly. Like, look, we're gonna make sure that we gonna save yourself from yourself, and I think that's actually what's happening, because still people saying Tua should retire, this, that, and the other, people jumping off the ship like yourself. But but my whole thing is, I promise to you, like, I'm gonna remember this. Westradamus remembers. If we wind up doing a lot better and Tua start, letting the doubters like yourself look crazy, I'm gonna be rubbing it in your face. I'm gonna be texting you.
It's okay. It's okay. And I will invite that. I actually hope that should happen. I hope it. I will willingly be inviting all the West vitriol once if Tua throws for 400 yards and we win the game against Buffalo. I don't care. I hope it happens. I do. But I don't believe it's gonna happen, bro. I just don't believe it's gonna happen.
Well,
I don't believe that Tua is the guy for the future. I think they need to start seeing what they got as far as draft capital, or they need to pick up somebody free agency, or let's bring the young boy Lamar Jackson home.
Okay, now I agree with that one right there. Like, Westradamus do like Lamar Jackson. He from the crib, so I am not gonna knock that. Me and Chris was talking about that before. You seen early in the season when we was discussing that as well, as far as Lamar Jackson liking the jersey of him in a Miami Dolphins uniform. You also got Aaron Rodgers that recently said, like, I wouldn't mind playing for the Dolphins. He said that after beating us. You know what I'm saying? And imagine Aaron Rodgers. That's like, look, that's really like Dan Marino, to be honest with you. He's the one that reminds me more of Dan Marino than anybody else. I mean, he got the attitude like Dan Marino. He got the arm like Dan Marino. He did the fake spike like Dan Marino on us.
I'm gonna tell you something that's probably not popular. I actually think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Dan Marino.
Oh, really? I mean,
I think he's a bet. When you look at the stats, obviously he's won a Super Bowl. He's a little bit more mobile as well. I think he's actually a better quarterback than Dan Marino. There's not many I would say is better than Dan Marino, but I think he's better.
I don't think so. Why? Because, Aaron Rodgers and the Tom Brady's, they're in this era of football is offensive driven. They're saving the quarterbacks all day. Like Dan Marino was playing when people was clotheslining motherfuckers. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and say Dan Marino is still the better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, because the numbers do not show the physicality, do not show, certain things. I mean, we got Mark Duper and Mark Clayton, you feel me, back then, and people still don't recognize them as one of the best wide receivers in the game. So for me, kind of disappointed in you again, Marcus, for going against the grain.
I hear you. But let me ask you, Wes, if you are Stephen Ross right now, obviously it's contract time. Are you paying Tua?
No, I'm not going to pay Tua. See, look,
so I'm not paying Tua that bread right now.
Why would I pay Tua that bread? And he's only on his third year. We have him for another fourth year next year. Next year is his fourth year. After his fourth year, everybody's doubting Tua already. You could have Tua as a backup. Imagine Tua as a backup, and you don't have to pay his ass. Tua is not the Teddy Bridgewaters. He's not the Skylar Thompsons. Imagine Tua is the backup, and Lamar Jackson, what we just discussed, is the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. When Lamar Jackson was coming out in the draft, guess what? Stephen Ross wanted him, and they convinced him not to get him. The next
That
time,
is not gonna happen, bro. That is not gonna happen. As much as it sound great, it's not gonna happen.
why is
Some
that?
other team is gonna pay Tua. That's why. All these teams out here. If we let him play out the season, that means he's gonna be a free agent. Someone is gonna pay him more bread than us.
But why do you care if we get Lamar? I'm not gonna care. We could keep
No, I'm
Teddy
just
and
saying.
Lamar.
I don't care. I'm just saying with that scenario you was painting where he could be the backup.
Nah, but I was saying that because everybody kind of don't like Tua. I mean, you see what it is. They hate us because of the beaches, the women, and the weather. I mean, he got the most jersey sales. He when it comes to Pro Bowl votes, he had the most, and they still didn't make him make the Pro Bowl. There's a lot of reasons why people don't like Tua. So again, at the end of the day,
he's a likable guy though.
Yeah, he's a likable guy. I mean, we discussed that, and plus he's godly. He's a God-fearing man. So what is not to like about him? It's just like Tim Tebow. I mean, people don't like you, but again, it just gets to a point where sometimes people don't like those golden boys like the Tim Tebows and certain things like that. But regardless, if I could keep him, if I could keep him and have Lamar, then cool. But if I could have Lamar and I gotta let you go, then I'm gonna let you go. Like I'm like, yeah, come on, man. I'm gonna be like you. It's time to move on. You feel me? But right now I'm still on the ship. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of guiding that ship right now. It's stormy, choppy waves, but Westradamus see the light. I still see the light. You feel me? So I think the Dolphins got a real good shot to actually win this game because you know when people you know, like what you were saying before, as far as with the touchdown, you know, I think it happened. This the third time it happened for him in the third month. What a coincidence! 3-3. I mean, I think that took a lot of, huh?
I said, yeah, that part, that that part just was crazy to me. The third time, and the second run back for a kickoff was in the third quarter. And something else with a 3. I forgot what it was, but it was in the third quarter as well. And I think it was their third touchdown, something like that.
Yeah,
it was just weird.
Yeah, it's weird. And is this the third time that the Bills is able to go to the Super Bowl? Yes or no? Like this did since Josh Allen. Is this the third time they really had I think this is the third time.
Yeah, third time they had a legit chance. Yeah.
Yeah, so they possibly can win if we're still riding that wave on the number 3 and this, that, and the other. But me personally, I think that they actually they're not gonna match that same level of miraculously whatever you want to call it, spectacular. That energy that they gave last game against the New England Patriots, I think it's going to be kind of real hard for them to go ahead and repeat that same type of energy. Of course, you happy that your brother is out, but now that your brother is out, he's talking. I think it goes back to being football, and they don't have that energy that they had before. Because my dog's good now. Why am I worried about you? You feel what I'm saying? When you in the hospital, yeah, I'm thinking about you. But now that you good, why am I still thinking about you? I'm happy that you out. You still my dog, but it's another day again now. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And, seeing that the Dolphins, when we played them last, like we gave them a run for their money. I have a reason why we can actually win the game. Because look, at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody say. When everybody was healthy, when the Dolphins was healthy early in the season, guess what? We beat them. When we're injured later in the season, we got like 4 or 5 of our secondary out. We lost. So, getting to it back, seeing the defense, how the defense, even though, we were playing the Jets, you can't really gauge your defense on the Jets because they suck. I mean, they held them down to only 6 points. If we could get that same type of defense, 3 and outs, getting them out, and we have Tua to put them numbers up, look, the arm of the almighty Tua going to go ahead and prevail. That's how I look at shit.
Well, we hope so. We hope so. But I don't see it happening, bro. I just don't see that shit happening. And the Bills had some injuries too. All these teams got injuries. And we still injured right now. Hurt Mostert. Hurt his thumb. Might not play. I'm not too worried about it because Ahmed is actually pretty good running back as a backup anyway.
And
he had He had a good run. Yeah, and Wilson, he had a good run in that last game. But to measure how good we are against the Jets, man, come on, man. They already eliminated from the playoffs, so you already know they were hard.
They trash.
And secondly, they was playing with their third string quarterback, Joe Flacco, who needs to retire. I don't even know why he's still in the league.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco is better than the other two quarterbacks that they have, so it still was an upgrade.
I don't know about that. I think Mike White is probably better than Joe Flacco at this point. Zach Wilson, I don't believe it. I think it's trash. But anyways, man, we'll see what happens. We'll be watching, of course, Sunday 1:00. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You got a score?
I don't like predicting a score when I feel like they're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
so give me two scores. Two scores. Two will play and two don't play.
Let me start with Tua don't play. If Tua don't play, I think it's gonna be 30-6. To be honest, I think it's gonna be something like that. Maybe 10, maybe 30-10.
Damn.
If Tua plays, I think it's gonna be 27-23. 27-23. Bills win.
All right. Me, on the other hand, we don't have Tua playing, then it's gonna be like 35-0. And
yeah, I thought I was being harsh.
I'm being real. If Tua not in the game, 35-0, man. And if Tua's playing, it's gonna be a close one, and the Dolphins upset, and it's gonna be 28-24.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. I think I'll tell you one more thing about this game. The reason why we win here's why I think first of all, I don't think the Bills going to the Super Bowl. A lot of people think the Buffalo Bills, if you see these talking heads on TV, a lot of them just in love with the Bills and Josh Allen and all of that. But he throws more interceptions than almost any other quarterback in this league, and red zone interceptions, like critical interceptions, like about to score interceptions. So I think Xavier Howard, man, he got to make that money on Sunday. And he has to bait Josh Allen into throws. If you bait him into throws, you can get interceptions. And I think that's the reason why I think the Dolphins have a chance if Tua plays. Even like I said, it's gonna be ugly if Tua doesn't play. I'm still gonna watch it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Even if Tua doesn't play, but it definitely sure would be more exciting if our guy, I'm still calling him our guy, Tua, because he's wearing a Dolphins uniform, if he plays. So, but what else we got, man? What else we got? What else within the last month or so, bro? Like what's been really going on?
You got the scoop, boy. You see your background over there, boy. You feel me? I mean, it's all about the Canes right now, as far as with the recruiting trail, as far as with Mario Cristobal having a full recruiting cycle to recruit these 5-star players and 4 stars, a few 3 stars, but majority 4 and 5s. But you've been in the mix, you've been in the trenches. You feel me? Like, kind of give us like some updates. What really has been going on, because I've been kind of not speaking about the Canes because I'm like, man, I ain't gonna talk about the Canes, and then Marcus gonna come over here. He the one with the scoop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's go ahead and let Marcus put us on point what's going on with the Miami Hurricanes and the recruiting trail.
Man, it's been a lot, obviously. I think most Canes fans know what's going on as far as the recruiting class. They got a top 5 class, which is, a great considering how they only won 5 games last season. For you to get a top 5 class, that's kind of unprecedented territory right there. Go to canescounty.com just for all the updates on recruits. We're doing pro comparisons on there, basically where we're comparing every player in the class to a player in the NFL. So it gives you a real idea of what kind of players we're getting. The class is just amazing. I mean, I'll tell you the players that I'm most excited about. Mark Fletcher, the running back out of American Heritage. This is where that could start immediately. I'm not sure if he's going to win the starting job over Henry Parrish just because he's got more experience, but he's definitely a bigger back, and he can do everything. I don't know if you caught the
I did
All American game.
I definitely seen that catch.
Yeah. So he's always shown that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He played with 7-on-7 team South Florida Express, so he already has that in his bag, and he's just a game changer. I think he's a game changer because he can be an every down back if you need him to be, and like you saw, he can catch the ball and take it to the house. So I'm really excited about him. I'm excited about Nathaniel Joseph as well. Our guy Ray from Miami Edison. They call him the Flash. They call him, he's one of the fastest players with the ball, and he's just a playmaker. He gives you that yak, that yards after the catch, and he's hard to bring down too. His legs are like tree trunks, so it's not easy to bring him down, although he may look small in stature. So I'm really excited about him and him getting playing time early. And then you got the O-line guy. Man. You got 2 5-star offensive linemen in Samson Okunlola and Francis Malcolm. And 2 5-star guys. I mean, most teams like Alabama, Georgia, you happen to get 1 5-star for the offensive line. Miami's got 2. So that the future is definitely bright with the offensive line, running back, and then Damari Brown, the cornerback from American Heritage as well. I love Damari Brown. I think he's one of the best corners in the nation. He locked down a receiver out of the West Coast, Mekhi Lemon, who was also at the Under Armour All-American game, which I was at in Orlando. And we are also still waiting on Cormani McClain. Cormani McClain, man, that's the number 1 corner in the nation. A lot of drama going on around him. I know you probably heard about him a little bit, and I'll give you some insight from what I know, what happened. So basically, Cormani McClain was ready to sign on signing day, and then he gets a call from none other than Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is in Colorado. He just, took the job out of Colorado. So Deion Sanders is running a docuseries of what's going on with him in his life. And from what I heard, he offered Cormani McClain to really be on the docuseries or be a featured player on the docuseries.
Oh, so we're getting him. All right.
Along with him signing to Colorado. So that's why he paused on that day, from what I know. And then there's also some issues when it comes to his educational requirements. I'm not going to really go into any details on that. Just his educational requirements wasn't up to par from what I heard. And so that also put a delay. But from what I hear from Miami, from the Miami guys, that they still expect to sign Cormani McClain. He came out and said that it was going to be Miami that he's going to be signing with on January 15th.
Yeah.
So it's just been, it's just been kind of an up and down roller coaster ride, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good to people like us or you or just fans in general, because it makes it seem like you're not committed to the U. You know what I'm saying?
Look. My whole thing is he on some whole shit right now. This is the reason why Mario Cristobal kind of was moving the way he was moving with the, previous class, because he want people that really want to be here. He don't want people that's like, I don't know if I want to be here. If you're not locked in, I don't want you. I don't care if your ass the number 5-star, probably number 1 corner in the actual game. Like, look, I do not need wishy-washy ass motherfuckers, man. I don't need wishy-washy people like homeboys or people like that, that's co-workers, I do not want to deal with them. Yeah, I want you on a team, but like, come on, man. If you already know you locked in with the damn Canes, who gives a fuck if Dion got his whole docu-series? You're not gonna be signing to him, so why does it matter? I don't know why does it matter if you know you're not signing with him. So for me, he ain't signing with us. I know he said that he's probably gonna sign January 15. There's some type of way that you could sign January 15, but he ain't signing with us, because my whole thing is, look, if it's that easy for somebody to go ahead and sway you, and I know it's Dion, it's prime time. Look,
yeah,
I do not want you here. Then, if that's the case, we already know what Dion did with the cornerback last year. I think with FSU snubbing them, you're trying to do the same thing to Miami. So if I was Miami, I'm gonna continue trying to pursue you, but I already know you're not signing with us. I know you'd probably know that he's not signing with us too, but since you got the scoop, you're not gonna say it and you're not gonna break it now. I'm gonna break it. He ain't signing with us. Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say a lot. I'm not gonna say a lot about this situation because I'm in the industry where I gotta keep my nose clean with my sources.
Don't say nothing. I said it.
From what I've heard from him directly, because I did get a chance to speak with him at the Under Armour All-American game in Orlando, and he was locked down there too, by the way. He is legit number one corner. He's got really good ball skills. He's fast, and he's a lot stronger than what he looks like, and he's only going to get bigger. So he is worth, keeping. Let's just say that. And from what he said he's signing with Miami. So I'm just going to stick with that Miami is going to sign Cormani McClain. But it's a very interesting recruitment.
Quick question. I'm trying to, find ways to figure it out. Like, so when he was at the All-American game, was he really vibing with the University of Miami players, people that signed to the University of Miami?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that, because I asked that. I asked Ruben Bain. Who was there, who was dominating, by the way. Ruben Bain is another player I'm really excited about. This kid can play inside, outside. He wants to be better. He wants to be great. Ruben Bain is just a great kid overall as a person.
My student.
Yeah. Like Hurricane Bain committed to the U. People were scared at first because Auburn was in the mix, but when Auburn lost their coach, that pretty much knocked them out of the race. But so he ends up committing to Miami. So I did ask him. I was like, "Hey, have you been, talking to Cormani?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, we've been vibing. He's been cool. We've been chatting up a little bit, whatnot." And with also Robert Stafford, who was also there as well, the other DB that is signed to the class. Mm-hmm. He's a really good athlete. I think it's going to take some time for him to develop to a college level corner, but he's just a good athlete overall. He can return punts, kicks. He was a receiver as well in high school. But he was also vibing with Cormani as well. And I asked him about the situation. I was like, "Oh, did he say anything in regards to signing with Miami or whatnot?" And Ruben Bain was like, "Nah, not really trying to get into that. I mean, that's pretty much his decision to make or whatnot." So that's all I can tell you as far as, what the vibe was between him and the other signees that were there.
What you can tell him? You can tell him like, "Yo, unless you want to be like Mark Pope and get dismissed from the program in front of everybody on Amazon Prime."
That was messed up though, man. Yeah. I think that was messed up.
I know too. That's why we need to use that to our advantage, bro. Like, yo, hey, we're not going to Mario Cristobal not going to do that to you. Dion, he's going to do that to you. And I feel Dion because, sometimes tough love, that's how you make people stronger as men. I mean, obviously he came from the University of Miami and he left or probably was dismissed from the University of Miami. I don't remember them saying that he was dismissed, but you left the University of Miami being a homegrown talent. You go to Prime, you seen what Prime did with JSU, and for your team to get rid of you, not Prime, your team, and they didn't say specifically it was you. You're in the auditorium with the rest of your teammates. You have some people that was trying to fight for you, not knowing that it was you. And you had some people that was like, yo, like, look, I didn't come over here to have a cancer. And you already know what it is. Cancer spreads. You know what I'm saying? So let's get rid of that cancer right now. Let's cut out that cancer right now because the rest of the body is still functional. So that's exactly what Deion Sanders and the rest of the players actually did. They was like, look, it's a one-time thing that you have when you got talent and when you have certain things that can go against you. This looked like an individual that's gonna have us take a step back. And how it is. When people say that you from Miami, a lot of people gravitate towards you. A lot of people like you because you from Miami. And I think that's exactly what people will gravitate to if Mark Pope is from Miami. We know individuals people like people from Miami, supposedly. I mean, when it comes to sports, it's different. But I think that he can easily be a cancer. And I'm happy that Deion Sanders did that because it showed that it was not the University of Miami also. It was you as a person.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind him doing that in front of the team. Even the manner in which he did it, I don't mind it at all. I mean, from what I heard with Mark Pope, it was the same basic issues that Miami was having with Mark Pope, and I mean, we all see what Mark Pope was doing on the field, and that was nothing basically. You know what I'm saying? So we know, I guess, what Mark Pope is, but at the same time, you know me, I feel more connected to the hometown kid. And I don't like the way that he embarrassed him on a national platform like that. I just feel, if he had a chance to be with another team, that's erased at that point. If they see that,
But think about it. It's Deion though. I mean, you seen what they was doing. He's been doing this since he was coaching high school. You got the cameras following him. So it's not like he ain't do anything that he don't normally do. The camera's gonna follow Deion. They're gonna follow the team. Like, what you think gonna happen? You think they're gonna we're gonna get rid of somebody, so we let's turn off the cameras. That's taking away the real from what is Deion. So you got to take the good and the bad. When it comes to cameras, it's just kind of like, you remember the Ravens when the Ravens did that the NFL do that shit. They follow the teams. I think, a camera follow a team. Hard Knocks. Yeah, you got Hard Knocks. Yeah. When the Ravens did it, I ain't gonna lie, that was one of the best Hard Knocks that I ever seen. You feel me? With Tony Saragusa, on Shannon Sharp, they playing tricks on each other and this, that, and the other. That's the good and the bad. You feel me? That's the good right there. That's the jokes. But when the bad happened, we seen what happened to Chad Ochocinco. National television. You feel me? Hey, this is one of the products of having cameras. This is one of the products of, these cameras giving you all this money to follow you around. I mean, it's kind of like the Kim Kardashians. The Kardashians. The camera gonna follow you. They gonna follow you at your ups, your downs. I ain't gonna lie though. I remember I had watched one of them. It was like a 30-second clip with not Chloe, but Kim Kardashian was slapping the shit out of her sister, and they were slapping each other. Hey, that's the bad.
You ain't got to be embarrassed about watching the Kardashians, bro. It's okay.
No, it was on. It's okay. No, it was on Instagram. It was on Instagram, and that was somebody real. No,
trust me, I already know, man. I live the same life you do, man. Like, there's some shows I wouldn't tell you I watch, but that's okay. That one's okay. That one's okay.
No. I do not watch the Kardashians, but I ain't gonna lie though. I seen the reels, and that's the first time I seen anybody put hands on any of the Kardashians, and for them to be sisters and that happening, hey, it is what it is. You're gonna take the good and the bad. Sometimes it's gonna be ugly. And that's what you got. Yeah. You got the bad.
And that situation was ugly. And unfortunately for Mark Pope, everybody knows that was him. But anyways, we'll move back to the Canes and what they got going on, because the class, amazing. Like I said, some other standouts just really quickly, Robbie and Bobby Washington. You got the twins. There's brotherly love going on this team as well, because you also got Devontae Brown, a brother of Damari Brown, the cornerback I was talking about earlier. The UCF transfer is transferring in, also from American Heritage, obviously are already also from the crib. And they're also legacy kids as well. Their dad played for the U, Selwyn Brown. So, and then you got Francis Malgoa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got Francisco Malgoa, linebacker out of Washington State, one of the best linebackers in the Pac-12 last season. He had a crazy, interception for a touchdown. So you got those two brothers, committed to the U as well. So they hitting up the transfer portal as well. They just added Matt Lee, center, to the offensive line. They also added Branson Dean last night to add some depth to the defensive line, as well as Thomas Gore. No relation to Frank Gore, but Thomas Gore also going to be added to that D line. So you gotta love what you see from this team overall. But what I do want to pose though, man, is that they didn't really make any moves when it comes to quarterback, right? And we all know that this sport is a quarterback driven sport, like you can have all the great players in the world, but if your quarterback is average, you're probably going to be average. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we seen that in the national championship game last night. I don't know if you've seen it, 65-7.
I changed it after the first quarter.
It was crazy. I'm so glad I didn't bet on the game too. And I was thinking about putting on TCU, but I was like, nah, let me just chill.
450 would have been gone.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, man, that was crazy. But yeah, man, you could just see how the quarterback really kind of affects the college game. I mean, you had that player. I mean, he's like 40 years old playing quarterback.
Yeah,
yeah, you could tell he's older than Tua. He's older than Lamar Jackson. Like it's crazy that he's in college, like playing. But you can see like how poised he is and how understanding of coverage that he displayed on the field, and it just makes a big difference. So,
and he's a walk-on too.
Yeah, he's technically a walk-on. Yeah, he walked on to the team, then he couldn't make the team, went to JUCO, then came back as a walk-on, and then he ends up being the quarterback after Justin Fields left Georgia. So yeah, I mean it's crazy that he ends up winning back-to-back championships for Georgia. But the thing I wanted to bring up is that a lot of these quarterbacks, especially the new quarterback, can run at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The Patrick Mahomes out there, the Josh Allens out there, the Jalen Hurts out there, the Lamar Jacksons, obviously. These young quarterbacks, they can run at least a little bit. Even the ones in college, Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, and even the one for TCU, Max Duggan and Stetson Bennett. All these quarterbacks can run a little bit for it to be a threat. You know what I'm saying? For it to be a real threat. And look how many running quarterbacks made us look stupid this season. Riley for Duke, Drake May from North Carolina. Just all these quarterbacks are getting big chunk yards, 20, 25 yards on third down. We need to see that from Tyler Van Dyke, bro. If we don't, we just gonna be average. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't think this offense is really gonna be so much better the next season. I think the running game probably is gonna improve a little bit because the offensive line beefed up and you got some running backs in there. But when you need to make a throw, when it's third down and long and nobody's open or the pressure is coming and then the pocket collapses,
come on,
you need a quarterback that can run for a first down. And I'm not quite sold that TVD is that guy to do that.
Because at the end of the day, we seen what he did not this year, but the previous year to that, when we were in the air raid offense and he was in shotgun. Kamari Cristobal want to do the traditional, ground and pound and stuff like that. So he had to adjust. That's one. Two, when we seen him to, before Mario Cristobal got here, he would run the ball here and there, and as far as, people not being open, I mean, obviously you've seen how many people we had that transfer from the University of Miami this year, 25 players possibly transferred from the University of Miami. A lot of them was receivers. A lot of them was people that we have. And look, yeah, we want y'all to get an education, but I don't want you to get an education over there. I want you to win the damn game for me. I don't care. It may be sounding selfish, Westradamus. I do not care. I want to win. You feel me? I'm not like Marcus that has a relationship with these people because he covered them on the field, when they're in high school and now they're in college, and you got to have a certain rapport with them. No, I'm Wes. I want to win. Just like my Dolphins. I want the University of Miami to win. I don't care if you get a degree. I do not care. You have NIL right now, so we don't need to worry about, I need to get a degree because just in case football don't work. If football don't work, NIL do. NIL works, so that's the people that I need to be here at the University of Miami. People that can run, people that can do this, that, and the other. Now, as far as with TVD, one question for me to you, personal question, man. Are we getting rid of Gaddis?
That's funny. As far as I know, no. He's gonna be the offensive coordinator for the next season.
Unless probably what Thornton didn't come over here.
Changes with the next couple of months. But from what I've been hearing, I've been asking about it too. He is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Miami Hurricanes.
Bullshit. And that's why Thornton didn't come over here, because Thornton like, hell no, I came from Oregon. I know I got a good relationship with Mario Cristobal, but you got Gaddis still? Hell no, I gotta go. Like, I'm going somewhere else. No wide receivers. That's our big problem was wide receivers. And beside Robbie and Nathaniel Joseph, Ray, who else do we got? Who else do we got?
Still got Xavier Restrepo. Let's not forget about Restrepo.
Yeah, but Restrepo is a slot receiver. We said that last year. If he's going to be your number one, we already got a problem. And we do know that Ray and Robbie, they're slot receivers. So, besides Kobe Young, I mean,
Kobe Young is going to be – it's going to be Kobe Young, and it's going to be Frank Latson, bro. That's who it's going to be.
Latson is still here?
Yeah.
He didn't transfer?
No, he didn't transfer. And Keyshawn Smith transferred.
I don't care. Kick rocks.
Yeah, Frank Latson. That's going to be your two receivers, bro. It's going to be Frank Latson, and it's going to be Kobe Young. And it's going to be a bunch of slots. You still got Rashard Smith. You still got Jacoby George and Robbie and Ray are going to be your slots. You got a bunch of slots. Too many slots, to be honest. But, yeah, those are going to be your outside receivers, Frank Latson and Kobe Young.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't believe in Michael. I don't believe in Michael Redding. I know you don't.
I don't.
And I can't think of anybody who is left.
And that's a problem, because if you cover their ass. I'm supposed to be the one with the brain farts not remembering these people's names. You covered them, so that means they're nobodies. It's still time to transfer, guys. It's still some time. Go so we can go ahead and get somebody better than you. Period.
Yeah. I mean that's really what you got to work with. I'm worried about that too. I'm worried. There's three position groups I'm kind of worried about. Safety, because if Cam Kitchens-Oil or James Williams go down, like, who really is playing behind them? Nobody. And then D tackle, I'm slightly worried about. I love Joshua Horton. That's another great recruit that they got. Ruben Bain could move on the inside as well. You still got Leonard Taylor. And you got the transfers, Dean now, and Thomas Gore. But I still worry a little bit because most of those guys are undersized. Most of those guys are like big monsters on the inside, like what we seen from Georgia. Like, Georgia got some animal monsters over there. Like, I don't know if you was watching that. Like, I watch football a little differently than most people, but like, those monsters that he had on the inside, and most of them was young too, like young, just like freshmen, 5 stars that they just got. It's just ridiculous, man. Like, but as far as the edge guys that we got, the edge guys that we have can measure up with anybody. Jaden Wayne, Collins Ashampong, I mean, those guys are big guys, and you still got Mesidor, who had a great season, and
You think he had a great season?
yeah, he had a great season. What are you talking about? Come on, he had a great season.
Oh,
Akeem Mesidor.
I think he had.
Come on.
I think he had an okay season. I don't think he had a great season. I mean, maybe in the beginning of the season, but later on, like, I mean, I was not hearing him a lot. Just being real. When he first got here, I was hearing him all the time. Huh?
He was hurt a little bit.
Availability is the best ability.
I still think he had a great season. I think he's your best defensive lineman.
Isn't availability the best ability? He wasn't available. That's why I couldn't hear him. I'm just going on what you be saying. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I hear you, bro.
You know,
I hear you, but yeah, I think he's good to have in that rotation. He can play inside and outside. I still feel like the defensive line actually played pretty decent. I mean, 37 sacks on the year. It's just those linebackers. You only got Wesley Basaint out there, and he was just a young pup. I'm actually surprised that Keontre Smith did not transfer. And Corey Flagg also is, he's likely not going to transfer, but
he ain't gonna start. He shouldn't start, even though he had a decent year last year.
He's probably not going to start. So I don't know. It's just the linebacker positions I'm still worried about. I'm worried about safety, like I said. Your corners are going to be Devontae Brown, the transfer from UCF so far, and it's going to be Darryl Porter Jr. likely on the other side with Corey Couch. Those are really going to be your corners, unless Cormani McClain and Damari Brown show like, okay, they can start right away, which I doubt.
Can. You don't think any of them is better than Couch? What Couch was showing us last year? Last year he took a step back from the previous year.
He did take a step back. I don't know if like those guys being young, if they haven't hit a college weight room yet. So I don't know if they're better than Couch right now. Eventually they will be, but I don't know if they will be next year. We'll see. But I mean that's pretty much it as far as like an overall view of the Hurricanes and then recruiting and transfers. You still got a lot more possibly going to happen. They still are trying to fill needs at safety, D tackle, and wide receiver. Those are the three main position groups that they're still looking to kind of build. But right now, it's slim pickings. Right now, it's there's not a lot of options.
It's all good. It's because there are not that many options. I'm happy that Mario Cristobal is taking his time with those few scholarships that he got left. He's not just giving them away. If it's not something that's going to help us, be better, like right now, then, let me go ahead and go somewhere else to, fill a position. Like you said, linebackers, we're kind of still need some help there. Defensive tackle, we still need some help there. I didn't really know about the safeties. I knew that the corners was on point, but hey, you probably could turn one of the corners into a safety if anything happened in a negative way. But hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Mario Cristobal is still doing this thing, and that's all we want to see.
Definitely. Check out canescounty.com for updates on the Miami Hurricanes. I just wrote a piece today about the team turning it around in 1 year, because that's what happened with TCU. Let's to give some people some optimism or some hope. TCU was 5-7 last year, the same record Miami was, and this year they made it to the national championship game. So it can happen. But just like I alluded to in the story, questions about quarterback. Is he the guy? Can he make third downs with his legs? The offensive line I feel good about, especially with the transfers. Javion Cohen is a player I didn't even mention.
Yep.
He's from Alabama, started several games for Alabama. I mean, if you're starting for Alabama, that means you are good. And he is now going to be starting for the Miami Hurricanes. And then you still got Zion Nelson. I mean, he was projected to be a first-round pick before this season. Couldn't stay healthy. So hopefully he can stay healthy next season. And you got Matt Lee. And you still got Jalen Rivers, who I think was their best offensive lineman from last season. And you still got some young pups that are pretty good, like Inez Cooper, Jonathan Dennis, Ja'Kai Clark. I think possibly could be on transfer watch just because he plays the same position as Matt Lee. They're both in their fifth year of eligibility. I'm not saying not hearing anything, but just based on numbers and position, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But yeah, so they're deep on the offensive line. You know, they're pretty deep. Like if they were bitten by the injury bug like they were last season, they'd still be all right because you got Samson Okunlola, Pancake Honcho, and Francis Malgoa just sitting there, just waiting in the wings. And I didn't even talk about all the other offensive linemen: Antonio Tripp, Tommy Kinsler, Frankie Tinalau, huge dudes. These dudes mostly like 6'7", you know. So I mean, these are huge dudes Miami's gonna build with. And then the other thing that hasn't changed is the turnovers. The turnover margin that has to change, and tackling has to be better. They were ranked like 91st in like tackling. That needs to be up to like the 20s at least, and because that's where TCU was at. And turnover margin is kind of the same. Turnover margin, we were 111th.
Look, that comes with talent.
And that was 111th out of 130 teams. So that can't happen if you're trying to make it to the national championship. That has to change too. But if all those things change, hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we might be talking about Miami getting going out in the championship, and I would take that any day.
Yeah. I'll take that any day. But you know, all that comes with talent. You know, better tackling comes with better talent. You know, so for me, we just got to give Mario Cristobal that time. I think we spoke on this in a previous podcast where, like, I think you was like maybe give him like 2, possibly 3 years before everything turned around. This is year 2, and so far so good as far as with the recruiting trail. So we'll see what happens, you know. But I got confidence in the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the Miami Hurricanes basketball team. They 13-2 right now. They looking pretty good. They probably the best team in South Florida right now. Who knows?
They is.
But yeah, so I mean, just look out for that. Most people don't really watch college basketball until March, anyways. But you know, and since I'm now covering the team, I have a good view of what they got and what they can be. They can score with anybody. Isaiah Wong is a player that is going to be in the NBA next year. So he's a guy that can score anywhere, threes, shooting, mid-range, take it to the hole, and he assists. Nigel Pack, I mean, he's probably a better shooter than Wong. He could shoot it from like half court if he wanted to. He's that type of shooter.
Okay.
And then they got a hometown kid, Nicaraguan guy, Norchad Omir, who's like the monster on the inside, you know, getting rebounds, you know, always hustling. Those are like your 3 main players. But we'll see what they do, you know, as the year progresses. But I do want to just kind of mention them.
Okay.
But I haven't been watching the Heat at all, bro. So actually, I did watch my first game this season. I saw two games actually. My first game was that Lakers game, bro, that just happened where we lost to a LeBron-less team. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the hell? I was for sure we was gonna win, and we lose to like Dennis Schroeder. I'm like, what the hell? And then the game after that was the game against the Suns. Now Devin Booker wasn't playing, so it was kind of whatever, but they ended up winning that game. You been watching them?
Yeah, I seen the game we played against Brooklyn when they cheated us in the end. I mean, the close game throughout the whole 4 quarters, and Kevin Durant actually got injured. I think he's out for a month now.
Damn.
With a knee injury, but you know, Jimmy Butler got the ball. I think it's like maybe like 3-4 seconds left on the clock. He drives to the rim. He goes to the basket. And you know, you got an individual that fouled him. He's in the air. He gets fouled. He clearly fouls Jimmy Butler, like the body foul. Like my body hit your body, and Jimmy Butler is like falling back. No foul. Yeah. You know, so I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, we know what it is. The beaches, the women, and the weather. We're not gonna get those calls. Like I said, it's like our home team is really for the opponent and not us, because I know when we go everywhere else, we get some home cooking, and we don't get that home cooking that you would think that our home field advantage would actually give us. Home field, home court, we don't get that. So I ain't really gonna talk too much about the Heat. Why? Because I think they're 21-20. They're not anywhere near where they want to be. We have people that's injured. Jimmy Butler, I think we played. I think there was like 40 games already played. He played like 20 of those games. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe if we played like 43, he played like 21 games. Availability is the best ability. You got Kyle Lowry. He was playing the whole season, but he's garbage. We both don't like Kyle Lowry, so it's better that you're on the bench. We have Gabe Vincent, injured. We have Strus injured. They're sporadically in and out of the lineup. As far as they come, they help, they get injured, they back on the rehab. You have Bam Adebayo. He's dealing with a wrist injury right now. You have Tyler Hero. He's dealing with a Achilles injury right now. And that happened the same game with Brooklyn when, it just happened. Like, I think there was something on the floor that had him slip, and he wound up injuring his Achilles. Since we played Brooklyn, we haven't played anyone yet.
You said he injured his Achilles?
Yeah.
It's serious?
I don't think so. They didn't say that, like he kind of like injured it, like like if it's a tear or something like that, but they said it's injured and he's day to day. So if it's day to day, it's probably like he's sore.
Day to day, he's okay.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what we're getting right now with the Miami Heat.
All right. Let me ask you then, because the trade deadline is coming up. You know what I'm saying? So do you think this team needs another piece, or they should just ride out with what they got and they have a legit chance to win a title this year?
It's like, what piece are you asking for? Because I don't want Kyle Lowry here. I don't want Duncan here. Those are the only two people I really want to trade, and I know nobody wants them. So I don't know how
somebody will take those guys. Yeah, somebody like an Orlando or a Charlotte would take one of those guys.
Look. Trust me.
You know here that one of my dogs was telling me about that Miami should trade for.
Who?
Is LaMelo Ball. What you think about LaMelo Ball being on the Heat?
I fuck with it. We have LaMelo Ball that'll definitely give us a boost right now, because I put him he's not Steph Curry, but I put him in line with the Steph Curry. Let me just rephrase that. I'll put him with I'll put him with the spiders of the game, that play for the team.
What if we would have had Spider, bro? He dropped like 70 points the other night.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he even said that he thought he was going to be a Heat. Everybody thought that, but I feel the Utah Jazz. If you ask me that you don't want to be here no more, I'm not going to send you where you want to go. I'm going to get as much as I can from your ass, and if I can send your ass to the worst place, that's exactly what I'm going to do, and that's that's what they did. They held everybody ransom, and they got what they want. Rudy Gobert kind of fucked that up for everybody, getting all those picks for him being garbage. But hey, it is what it is. We can't go back from that. We only could deal with what we got now, and we're stuck with Kyle Lowry. So another unfortunate season.
All right, so we're just gonna ride out with this team then. If we can't get LaMelo Ball, because if we can get trade some picks, Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry for LaMelo Ball, that would play.
That would definitely be the play. You know what I mean? That would be my dream. You feel me? Getting Kyle Lowry out of here. You know how we is. We hate floppers. I don't care if it's for my team or anybody else. I can't stand him. His defense went down. His offense went down.
Like he slimmed down. He seemed like he slimmed down a little bit. Like his booty's not as big as like. You know what I'm saying? He's not as frumpy.
Nah, you're right. You definitely right. But for him to lose that weight and still be look like he's on a downgrade or close to retirement type shit, then that's what it is. But the funny thing is, availability is the best ability, and like I told you, every time you pay these motherfuckers, they find some way to not be playing. Jimmy Butler, you paid him, he don't be playing like that. Kyle Lowry, you paid him, don't be playing like that. Duncan Robinson, don't be playing like that. Byron Jones, different sport, don't be playing like that. Haven't played one game for the Dolphins. X-Man, damn, boy, what's going on? I'm telling you, man. We gotta find a way to play these players, and I'm more so of incentives. We're gonna give you a guaranteed money, but a lot of your money gonna be coming from incentives. And if you're not playing a certain amount of games, that's gonna take away from that contract. If you're losing, you're not your normal self as far as how you score, how you perform, then you're going to take a loss. If you have penalties, different sport again, football, if you have penalties, we're finding your ass. I think Don Shula used to do that too, but that's what I want. Every time you pay these people basketball, football, they're never available. They're not the same person. They don't got the same passion. They don't fight through injuries. Thank you, Marcus.
What?
For availability is the best ability. I want to pay these people. You're the guy that want to pay these guys, and they finally got paid. They're not available. So thank you again, Marcus.
I mean, I don't think it's as cut and dry or black and white as you say it. I mean, injuries happen all the time. It's the game, I mean,
so it just happens when money doesn't happen.
It happens when the money doesn't come either. Look at Tua. I already just told you that Tua explanation. How many times has he been injured? He has not been paid.
See,
you know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson can't stay healthy, and he has not been paid. So come on, man. Like
you're talking about certain people. We're talking about the people that got paid already. All the people that got paid.
Okay, I'm countering your argument because I don't really 100% believe that. I think there's a lot of players.
I mean, it's not 100%. It's maybe like 75% that you believe. I'll take that one too.
All right. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, most of these players that are still playing in the league are paid. I mean, because they are playing in the league means most of them means they got paid, unless they on their rookie contract or whatnot. So it's kind of hard to say, because they got paid, that's why they injured or that's why they not playing.
No. Because they got paid. It's not that you got injured. Injuries happen, like you say, but a lot of people play through it when they're trying to get a contract. And once you get that contract, why don't you continue playing through some of these things?
Jimmy Butler plays through injuries all the time, and he been got paid. What about Jimmy Butler, bro? He plays through injuries.
Didn't I just tell you we played about 45 games and he only been in 21? I'm just saying.
He's probably really hurt then, bro. Like, man, I don't know.
When somebody say, man,
I'm not gonna say that every player that as soon as they get the contract, all of a sudden they got.
Nah, I'm not saying every player, but I'm saying a vast majority of players that do get paid. That's when they're.
What about LeBron? LeBron is another one. LeBron only started getting injured these past couple of years, and that's only because he's old.
Yeah, he's old. You talking about somebody that's considered the greatest player of all time.
I gotta give you examples, bro. I gotta give you examples.
That's the worst example you could give, man. Like LeBron, even when he was in the Heat, he twisted his ankle. I'm like, damn, how your ass is not on the bench now? No, look. He's a cyborg. If there's something wrong with him, you feel me? No, that's a different guy, man. Yeah. That's a different guy.
Some players are cyborgs, and some are not. And that's the difference between a Hall of Famer and not a Hall of Famer, which is a perfect segue to the Hall of Fame class, because 3 former Hurricanes are finalists again, by the way, for the Hall of Fame. We got our boy Devin Hester, we got our boy Andre Johnson,
Dre Day,
and we got our boy Reggie Wayne.
mm-hmm.
Again, are up for the Hall of Fame. And when I looked at, because I'm doing stories all the time, did a story on this, so I looked at all their stats and everything, and I looked at his stats, and I'm just like, how are these players not already in the Hall of Fame? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, how? Like, Reggie Wayne, and the fact that Reggie Wayne stuck with his team the whole time. He never wavered. He was another player, like Hall of Famers, obviously, they are available, and that's why they're Hall of Famers. Never really got injured. Andre Johnson also never really got injured until the end of his career because they're old. And Devin Hester, kind of the same way. He was kind of I hate to say he was a one-trick pony. That kind of is I guess a backhanded compliment, but like he was basically only in there for kickoffs and punt returns, and is the best to ever do that at that position. So I don't think you can deny him from the Hall of Fame when he's the best returner of all time. So I don't see any reason why all three of them don't get in. But I said this last year as well. And I do have to point out our guy, Zach Thomas, is once again a nominee finalist as well. Zach Thomas should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. I think probably more so than those former Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Should be definitely in the Hall of Fame. If Brian Urlacher is in the Hall of Fame, then Zach Thomas should be in the Hall of Fame.
Man, look, man. As far as what everybody you discussed, as far as what Dre, as far as what Reggie Wayne and Devin Hester, I mean, we already know why they're not in the Hall of Fame. They come from the University of Miami. They come from Miami, period, and they hate us because of the beaches, the women, and the weather. So, as far as with Zach Thomas, same thing. You live in Miami. I don't know why people wouldn't like you. I mean, you're out of the public. You're more of a introvert. You stay to yourself. You probably going fishing, doing your thing, and you got other individuals that's in the Hall of Fame, like Brian Urlacher, other linebackers that's saying like how you're not in the Hall of Fame even before them because you got better numbers and you was a smaller player. We don't know, but we do know. At least the people in Miami know. Again, the beaches, the women, the weather, and you just hate people from Miami. You hate people from Miami in regards to sports. So hopefully they do make the Hall of Fame. Again, this is the second go round for these few players, or even with Zach Thomas, I think the third or the fourth go round. We'll see what they'll do. I mean, I don't think that everybody's gonna get in. Probably Zach Thomas, and possibly Reggie Wayne, or possibly Devin Hester, because Devin Hester was supposed to go in last year. I mean, for somebody to be the greatest kickoff returner from all time, and everybody know Prime Time previously held that category. For them to not give it to him, for Prime Time to say that he's a better returner than him, and they didn't give it to him, I'm not even gonna put my hopes up too much. I'm just gonna be like, all right, if you won, then cool, then I'll go ahead and celebrate. But if they don't do it, then it's not surprisable. It's not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would be surprised if it doesn't happen, because I wanted to pull it up to see how many times they've been eligible. But yeah, I'd be surprised, man. And I'm trying to see like who would get in over him. So Dwight Freeney, I think, would get in.
Yep.
I think Jared Allen, I think he gets in. All these other players, I think, is questionable. Darrelle Revis.
Darrelle Revis? I mean, Revis Island.
Yeah, I think he gets in. You got DeMarcus Ware, Patrick Willis, Darren Woodson.
Damn, Patrick Willis going there. He should go, even though he didn't play that much. He retired soon. He's one of
Torrey Holt, I don't think should get in. Not over Andre and Reggie Wayne.
Especially Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne had EJ getting some yards. You had Marvin Harrison on the other side, and you still got the numbers that you got. Like, come on, how they gonna deny you?
Right. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens. But as far as College Football Hall of Fame, that's the reason why I got Brian McKinney behind me. He was selected to the Hall of Fame. That's already selected, so it's not like he's a finalist like we just named. Brian McKinney and Mark Richt as well. Coach Richt played for the Hurricanes as a quarterback. Also coached Georgia for a number of years and coached for Miami for our last best season at the U. It was also selected for the Hall of Fame. So shout out to those guys for being selected for the College Football Hall of Fame. Man, Brian McKinney was a huge dude, man. Like, I looked up like his stats and what he went through. I mean, he was a JUCO kid too, out of the Northeast, and he really, showed out for the crib, winning a championship, Outland Trophy. I mean, he's one of the best Miami Hurricanes of all time. He's an offensive tackle, so he doesn't really get a lot of shine. But, yeah, definitely shout out to Brian McKinney and Coach Richt for making the Hall of Fame. That's all I really wanted to cover, though, man. Any other controversial?
Ain't not really controversial. I mean, the only thing that we kind of could talk about a little bit was the fight. Devontae Davis basically knocking out the guy, man. Basically, the dude he hit him so much. The guy started getting blind, couldn't see out of his eyes. Was telling his staff that like I can't see. You feel me? Tank gonna go ahead and do his thing. He done showed up in a tank, soldier fatigues, and he did his thing. Like, yo.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have any doubt. I didn't know much about the other guy, but I didn't have any doubt that Devontae Davis was gonna, Gervonta Davis, that was gonna, win that fight. I'm still waiting on a big fight, though, man. Like, I'm waiting on a big fight. I'm waiting on Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. I'm waiting for that to happen.
This shit ain't never happened. Like, come on, man. It's gonna be like Pacquiao and Mayweather. They're gonna fight when they 40 and 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You and Chris been putting me on point about this fight for the longest, man. I even went double back and started seeing some of the highlights, and I'm like, yeah, this would be a good fight. You feel me? And it never happened. So I'm not worried about that shit. Now, as far as what we was talking about in the text message when I was saying Gonzalez was talking shit, it was not this Gonzalez. It's the other Gonzalez that he has scheduled to fight in 3 months from now, 3 or 4 months from now. In May, you feel me? It's another guy. I think his name Ryan Gonzalez. You feel me? And he looks good. He's gonna give Tank a run for his money, but of course that's the reason why his name is Tank, and he gonna go ahead and show him why he the no limit soldier. You know what I mean? So for me. So for me, it's gonna be like another milestone that he's gonna go ahead and achieve, because I think he's like 28-0 right now, and I think the number's just gonna keep growing from there.
Yeah, we'll see.
So,
so that's it, man. That's all I really got.
Yeah, that's all I got too.
I'm excited for this weekend. Playoffs. Actually, but before the playoffs start, who you think is gonna go to the Super Bowl?
You talking? Well, I wish the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl. It's Tua plays.
When you say I wish, I wish.
That would be my first thought. The Dolphins winning, but that's me being sad. That's not that Personally, I think that whole Buffalo Bills situation with the number 3, with the kickoff returns happening third time in the third month, and then the third quarter, and then this, that, and the other. it's kind of like what happened with 9/11, and it happened, and the Patriots wind up being this dynasty because the Patriots, a Patriot, So for me right now, I don't know. It can be Buffalo, but I'm really gonna go with Kansas City. You can't really go wrong with Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I'll go with Patrick Mahomes because, like you said earlier, Josh Allen, he's gonna throw interceptions at the right time in the red zone, and that's gonna cost him. It's kind of gonna be like with Jim Kelly playing for the Buffalo Bills. You go to the Super Bowls, but you never win. So let's say that Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes win it.
Against who? In the NFC.
I would say San Fran because they got a defense, but because you got Purdy, I don't know if he's a rookie. It's kind of shaky over there. Minnesota's kind of trash.
Yeah, he's a rookie. He was the last pick in the draft last season, Mr. Irrelevant.
I mean, I don't really see anybody in the NFC besides Philadelphia being in the Super Bowl because Dallas is trash. Dak's trash on Prescott, he's throwing interceptions just like Josh Allen. Then you got Minnesota. You got a good defense, but your offense is suspect with that quarterback. Who else you have? You have the Giants with that quarterback. Daniels was his name, from
Danny Fumbles, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Like you feel me? You got San Fran with the rookie on quarterback. I mean, you don't really have too many people in the NFC that's kind of about that. I mean, you have Trevor Lawrence in the NFC, and he's starting to show out right now. Huh?
Trevor Lawrence is in the AFC.
He's in the AFC? Oh, damn.
Jacksonville's in the AFC.
Really?
Jacksonville, yeah. It's in the AFC.
I'm over here lost.
They're playing the Titans. Not the Titans. They're playing the Chargers.
Yeah, that's
the Chargers
this
weekend.
The crazy thing is all of the damn good quarterbacks is in the AFC.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. The only good quarterback in the NFC is Jalen Hurts.
Oh my God! So yeah, look, so it's gonna be Kansas City versus the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, and Kansas City gonna win, or it's gonna be Tua Tagovailoa versus the Eagles. In the Super Bowl, and Tua wins that.
Okay. See, for me, I think the AFC comes down to three teams. It's either the Bills, who I don't believe in, so you might as well just knock them out and just say it come down to two teams. Kansas City, like you said, I think when you got Patrick Mahomes, you got a chance, and Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Cincinnati Bengals, man. Like I think people underestimate Joe Burrow. This is the guy that did make it to the Super Bowl last year, and they was gonna beat the Bills that night. I just want to let y'all know, like they were definitely going to beat the Bills. The way that game started, the energy, and I think they had something to prove. People not really talking about them. They got a chip on their shoulder. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals, actually. I think they're going to find a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs again.
Yeah.
And I believe you with San Fran. I think San Fran, once they doing this without Deebo Samuel. And Deebo Samuel is a beast. He's one of the best receivers in the league. They line him up everywhere. They line him up at running back. And they already got Christian McCaffrey back there, along with, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. I mean, they got a squad, though. San Francisco does. And Brock Purdy, that situation seemed like it's almost like I hate to say it, but and it kind of rhymes with Tom Brady. Brock Purdy, it rhymes the same way. And, he's a rookie quarterback like Brady was. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It feels like he is going to make it to the Super Bowl with that team because he's been poised. He doesn't make mistakes. He's just the game manager with that loaded squad. So I think it's going to be San Francisco and Cincinnati making it to the Super Bowl, but I think Cincinnati actually wins it.
That sounds right, though.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati actually wins it in the end.
Yeah, I
So
wasn't even thinking about Cincinnati because Cincinnati and Burrow always be mutting Kansas City. They're the only ones that find ways to beat Kansas City. So Dan, you probably
yeah,
get a point right there. But
we'll
it is
see.
we'll
We'll see
keep
what
playing.
happens. But that's who I'm going with to win it all.
All
But
right, we'll see. We'll see.
we'll see what happens. All right.
All right,
So
so
let's
I think we won't have anything else. We'll go ahead and conclude this episode. So if we don't have anything else, this is gonna conclude this episode of the MarcWes Sports Podcast. To the next episode.
peace.